Did you know that the only problem in your life, the only one that ever existed at any stage in your life, is your own thoughts and the emotions that are being generated by these thoughts and nothing else? That's it. You have no other problems in your life. Well, you might be saying, oh, I do have problems. I have 1,000 problems in my life. I have 1,000 things that I have to deal with every single day. But the thing is, even for the problems that you think you have on the outside, they are either this naturally unfolding events that you got nothing to do with, or they are things that you could actually work to solve only if you can get these thoughts and emotions out of the way. For me, this was a game changer. It literally changed my life when I realized that not only could I be in control of my thoughts, in control of my mind, but that I could voluntarily drop, some of these thoughts that are useless to me, that I have no use for. Because I realized that most of these thoughts that we have that are randomly popping up in our mind are about reminiscing about a dead past or panicking about a non-existent future, and they're never about the present, where I actually have the power and the presence to do something about my situation. And when I realized this and I started practicing it in my daily life, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that my days literally became brighter instead of this darkness that I was waking up to every single day. My problems naturally started to become smaller. They started to shrink because my thoughts slowly lost their power, their vigor to construct this horror movie, to continuously construct a horror movie out of my life, because I simply wouldn't let them. And in this video, I will teach you how to do that. But before we do that, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, here on this channel, I talk about how you can find your passion and go after it at any age, how you can find balance even at the most difficult times in your life, and how you can be happy with the things and the people you already have surrounding you. So if you're interested, make sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Also, give this video a big thumbs up to spread the message. So I don't think you need me to tell you about the mental exhaustion and anxiety that results from an overthinking session that goes on for hours. Or sometimes you might have sleepless nights and this will go on for days. But if I tell you right now that you need to stop doing this because it's creating more problems in your life, you probably wouldn't listen, because you are now convinced, you truly believe that looking at every angle of situation, looking at it from every possible angle, and anticipating and predicting the worst case scenario is the way to go. You believe that catastrophizing your situation is the way to go. It's almost like an addiction at this point. It's a way of life. Something goes wrong, you have to think about it all day long. You make a mistake, you dwell on it for weeks. Somebody says something stupid and now you have to prepare an entire session of self-pity. And through all this, it doesn't even cross your mind that you don't have to do that. But it's okay, because you probably didn't know how to, and now you will. And you probably have never experienced the freedom, the liberation, and the lasting peace that you're going to get as a result of this knowledge and this practice. That's simply everything. So point number one is to overcome perfectionism. So one of the reasons why you overthink is because there is a part of you that struggles with acceptance of what is. A part of you that always wants to be in control of everything. A part of you that simply cannot accept that you are not perfect. But this is ignorance, because there is no such thing as perfect in this world. The nature of this world is imperfect. It is duality, it's highs and lows, it's contrast. And these are universally governing laws that even you are a part of, and you're not going to think your way out of these natural laws because you are part of it and you have to be governed by them. And the problem arises when you decide to go against nature and you think that you can fight this. You think that you can fight your way through what's already happened and everything in between. And one of the laws is also that change is inevitable, and that you're going to have to continuously mold and shape and adapt yourself to new and changing environments. And within this very contrasting phenomena, you can imagine how difficult or sometimes even how silly it is for you to expect perfectionism. Because even if you were to do everything right, do right by everyone, there will eventually be a fallout. There will be a fall from grace to one point or another. Not because of something you did, but purely because of the nature of things in this world. But the thing you have to know is that it's not about quitting your goals or your good deeds because of this. It's about not expecting, knowing and being clear about not expecting perfectionism from yourself or the world. It's about the balance between accepting of what is, but at the same time not dwelling and not wasting time on what is. It is to move without resistance to the things that are continuously changing and continuously happening. So point number 2 is, if it's not a solution, then don't think it. It's to become conscious and proactive about your own thought patterns and not be lazy and hand over your thought processes to your unconscious mind, because there are real dangers in there. What I've learned to do is, whatever the subject of the thought, whether it's my personal life, my work, relationships, or even my health, if the thought is not productive or constructive, I immediately discard it. These thoughts about fear, anxiety, uncertainty, about different things in my life, I just stop, I don't engage, I don't dwell on them, I don't give them a second chance, none of that. It kind of became like a habit. It started to become like second nature. And it's then that I realized how much time I wasted in the past thinking about the problems and how little to none was spent thinking about the solutions. Weird, but very common. And what I would advise you to do is, whenever there is a thought that is saying to you, what about that particular problem? Let's now sit and imagine and think about how it's going to branch out and ruin your life. You respond to this thought by saying, no, I'm not interested. The only thing that I'm going to use this interaction for is to come up with solutions and nothing else. At first, your mind is going to rebel against this because it's not used to this kind of thinking, but eventually it will come around and it will start to give you the solutions that you want, or in the least give you the peace and freedom from unnecessary overthinking. Because in the end, it's up to you to guide your own mind to do the things that you want it to do. Otherwise, if you're just lazy and you're just going to let it do its thing, don't be surprised when it's coming up with all kinds of crazy scenarios, things. All your fears are going to play out in your mind's eye, and you don't want that, because if that becomes your dominant thought, your beliefs, then that's going to be your reality in life. So for these reasons, you have to stop dwelling in the problems, and you have to stop obsessing about these things and creating this on your outside world. This is why it's very dangerous for you to allow your mind to just go rogue. Point number 3 is to distract yourself with better ideas and activities. Go for a walk, breathe, meditate, kick stuff, punch stuff, not people. Read, write, paint, take a cold shower, watch some new Shakira dance moves. That always helps. Anything but this useless and repetitive overthinking, that's not doing anything for you. That's only contributing to your misery and unhappiness in life. These distractions are not going to be lasting solutions to your overly active mind, but they will be a great addition to your strategy by giving you some break from all your negative thoughts, which will then give you the time and the energy to apply those solid techniques. Besides, isn't it better to be creative, to learn some new skills, to learn some new dance moves from Shakira, than to sit and cry about your sad life? Yeah, it's a no-brainer. So point number 4 is the creative nature of your overthinking. So I've said that your overthinking is useless, but I did say that they're completely powerless. Because what you're doing when you're overthinking, when you're dwelling on stuff, about things in your life, is not only a dangerous level of analyzing them and catastrophizing situations, but it's also helping them to later on become part of your outside reality. They are slowly crystallizing into the different things that you're going to expect, see, and come across on your outside world. You will be experiencing them in many different forms, because once your subconscious mind gets hold of these thoughts, and these thoughts are now assisted with emotions, they will stop being these intangible things that are simply floating in your mind, and they will become these physical objects, the physical matter that you're going to experience on your outside world. And these are the people, the great number of people that you're going to meet in a single day that are going to annoy you to death. Even the inanimate objects seem to tackle you, obstruct you, spill over you. Everything seems to go against you when you don't have control over your mind, when you are allowing your subconscious mind to animate such things, because the negativity inside, like I said earlier, will not just stay there. It is animating your world, and the outside world is only mirroring what you are thinking about and dwelling about all day long. And for these reasons, you have to be careful of how much time you are spending on the thoughts that you find to be negative, on the thoughts that seem to trouble you, that seem to make you feel a certain way. And this is very necessary if you want to see change on your outside world. So number 5 is to have a purpose in your life. Something that takes center stage in your life, something that has the power to override all the other problems in your life, because this problem is a good problem. Because this problem is something that is going to inspire, or something that's going to ignite that fire within you that you want to keep going. You kind of project yourself into the future, and you see yourself still doing that. You're proud of yourself for doing that. So even though you might still have a long way to go, there are so many things to do, you haven't achieved anything yet, you see that this particular problem is sort of your anchor, and is something that can give you hope instead of making you hopeless like all these other problems that you are obsessing about. It will give you the kind of fulfillment that sort of kills any appetite for negative thinking. It's going to be the one thing that is going to anchor you, and the one thing that's going to help you to keep going and to slowly overcome this negative cycle of anxiety, depression, overthinking, and all these things that you want to get rid of. With a purpose in life, you will be able to rise above anything that might happen, including all these problems that might be bothering you at this moment, because you have a purpose, because you have something that you can depend on emotionally, creatively.